Welcome. This is a case study using an AI assignment for a human resources course. I'd like to introduce the presenters. I'm Dr. Lori Howard from Marshall University. We also have Dr. Ralph McKinney from the College of Business at Marshall University and Hillary Gibson, who does online learning at Marshall University. The next part of it that we want to talk about is what our objectives were in this process. We wanted to provide a real world case study in hiring and interviewing, in incorporating the AI into the assignment process, foster student engagement and deeper learning. Now I'd like to introduce Hillary to talk about the AI.
So at the beginning of this course, we had the students participate in a micro-credential about generative AI. This was a baseline introduction teaching students how to interact with a chatbot and how to write prompts. So it was a great scaffolding assignment for those students to kind of dip their toes into learning about AI before moving on to one of the major assignments in this course. It helped to address some of the misconceptions about AI, and once they were able to complete the micro-credential, they were issued a digital badge as part of the process. So now Ralph is going to talk to us about the course and the major assignments.
And so this particular course was HR for Special Populations. It is a graduate course that is housed in the Lewis College of Business. That's actually part of the master's degree in human resource management. And so for part of the assignment, this is only one assignment of a series of learning objectives that we had for the course. And the entire course was built around making the workplace accommodating and accessible, and really including people in that workplace. And so for this particular assignment, what we wanted to do is we set up instructions associated with interview questions. We gave some directions about what you can answer, what you cannot answer, associated with the U.S. regulations, as well as making sure that they have an understanding and the guardrails, so when they do engage in this assignment, that they can be successful. And so after those interview questions, after that those instructions, the students developed their own interview questions, and what they did from there is they submitted those questions as part of that assignment before they moved on to the next set. And part of the assignment, we wanted to make it as realistic as possible. And so the students are actually interviewing an individual for a position of employment. And we wanted to have that job description out there so they can have an understanding of what traits and skills that they were needing to look for, so that they can find an individual that was going to be successful for that. And for this particular assignment, what we had is 3 individuals that the students could interview. And each individual we built a resume for. So they had differences in experiences, and differences in their knowledge, skills, abilities, and other attributes, so that we can, again, make it a lot more realistic and give them a background so that they can engage with this assignment. And so from that particular assignment, there was a chatbot that was created, and Hillary, would you like to have a discussion on that?
Sure. So like you said, for each of these job seekers, we created an AI conversation. One of the tools, Blackboard is the LMS at Marshall University, and one of the tools inside of Blackboard is an AI conversation where you can set up a role play activity for the students to participate in. So we used that for these job interviews. We created 3 separate ones, one for each of the job seekers, and the students were given instructions on how to interact with the chatbot using those interview questions they had submitted prior in the semester. And then we also included a personality trait to train the AI chatbot. We gave it some background from its resume, and then also gave the diagnosis that it would have or any accommodations that that job seeker would need, and also told it not to disclose that to the students. And so whenever the students interacted with this chatbot, they saw this screen where they could type in those interview questions and then submit that as part of their assignment. One of the cool things about this tool is that the instructors were also able to see the transcript of that conversation between the student and the chatbot. And then there's a little reflection question at the bottom for the students as well. All right, I believe Lori is going to tell us about the assessment piece for this assignment.
One of the important concepts that we were working with is the onboarding and accommodations for new hires. For the 3 people that were created through the chatbot, we made sure that 2 of them actually did have a disability. So we wanted the students to make a plan to make sure that the new employee could be onboarded with accommodations if needed. And we gave them a specific allowance for accommodations and working on the idea of how to help them become a successful employee to the company that they're working for. That also leads to our next big assignment that I'll have Dr. McKinney address regarding the self-reflection.
Thank you. And so with this reflection paper, we asked the students to say, okay, after you've gone through this exercise and this experience, tell us what you liked, tell us what you didn't like. And so they were assessing how their interactions went, how the engagement levels were, if it felt real for them. What we did find is most often students don't have those interpersonal communication skills that they need for that practical real world environment. A lot of employers are saying, hey, we need students to have those interpersonal communication skills. So our task was to create within guardrails a safe environments that students can role play and interact with an AI so they can learn some of those skills in that safe environment. And this reflection paper was one way that we could measure our success as well as understand what the students learned in this process. And I think this was really critical for that. And so moving forward, the lessons learned, what did we learn? We learned that it was really important for us 3 individuals who come from different backgrounds to really collaborate on this assignment and collaborate in this course because we bring different perspectives and different thinking, and that allows us to strengthen that real world experience. We needed clear directions. Somebody that may come from business background is going to think differently than somebody that comes from an educational background. And so there's clarity of directions, which also includes clarity in terms and defining those terms. And so we built the scaffolding, such as the instructions, to help them be successful. We wanted the students to consistently reflect on what they were doing and the value of what they were doing for this process. So they were constantly thinking about their engagement, and that actually helped reinforce those lessons. And we also wanted to make sure that environment was safe so that they can experiment with the AI, so that they can ask some questions, within that environment. And so, again, we would like to thank you very much for attending our presentation. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us or any comments. Love to hear from you. Again, thank you very much.